Welcome to the group exhibit Hydrogen, Fuel Cells and Batteries at the Hanover Fair 2017. We are here at the Technical Forum and my name is Muriel Buarkas. I would like also to give a warm welcome to our clients watching the presentation live streaming online. If you want to have a drink or a coffee after lunch, please join us. Have a seat. There is coffee and some refreshments in the back. The upcoming presentation will be regarding hydrogen, the new energy fuel for tomorrow's vehicles. And I'm very much looking forward to announce the head of technology project Hydrogen Fuel Cell of BMW Group, Kleczka.
Thanks, Muriel. So, welcome from my side as well. My name is Kleczka. I'm head of the Hydrogen Fuel Cell program at BMW. In this program, all hydrogen-related activities are involved. So, from development and industrialization of the technologies and the fuel cell electric vehicles up to analysis on the hydrogen chain and all related topics. Today, I would like to take the opportunity and chance to share with you our perceptions, our visions and strategies on zero-emission mobility. In this, e-mobility, including battery-powered and fuel cell-powered electric vehicles, are core elements of our BMW innovation and technology strategy. And this is needed to stop climate warming as decided by the world governments, because a dramatically reduction of the greenhouse gas emissions over the next few decades is needed to stop global warming. And new energy for mobility is a symbol for the task ahead. If our customers are requested to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions caused by mobility, they could, on one hand, reduce their mobility. For example, not driving 10,000 kilometers a year, but 500 kilometers a year. And I think you all will agree that this is not very much likely. We don't think that mobility behavior and lifestyle will undergo such significant changes in the near future, at least not in that direction. So we must offer alternative energy sources for mobility. And to understand the logic behind the transition and transformation of future energy systems, we conducted jointly with the Fraunhofer ISE Institute of Solar Energy Systems in-depth study how this transformation can happen and what is required for it. Fraunhofer ISE is here at the Hanover Fair as well, and I think I'm sure they will be pleased to welcome you at their booth for in-depth discussions. We made in-depth, as I mentioned, in this study with them. And to make a long story short, the result is that it's possible to reduce the greenhouse gas emission up to minus 95% to 2050 if, on the other hand, the local energy generation is transformed as well, and we build up solar and wind power plants 5 to 6 times more than today's level. But on the other hand, if this happens, we will figure out that we will have huge mismatches between energy production and energy demand. And in Germany, for example, we will have periods of magnitude of electricity available on one hand, and periods of severe shortage, especially in winter time. This mismatch of supply and demand can be overcome by installation of short-time storage capacities, such as batteries or battery electric vehicles and pumped hydro, and long-term storage based on hydrogen and synthetic gas. This, however, needs still significant efforts and resources to make this transition successful. This means that we, on one hand, need the reduction of the energy demand by increasing efficiency. We need to decarbonize the electricity and install and build up the renewable energy generation. We need to build up smart grids to manage the demand side, and we need to switch the backup power plants from coal to gas power plants, and of course we need to couple the sectors, power to heat and power to e-mobility. And for all these efforts, a build-up of energy storage capacity for short-term and long-term storage is needed as well. Here on this chart, the value stream of energy transferred is shown, and it displays that even in 2050 we will have fossil fuel used in the transportation sector. The reason behind this is quite obvious. Decarbonization of mobile energy consumers is more expensive than the decarbonization of stationary consumers. Liquid fuels are hard to create and require a considerable amount of energy, and stationary consumers can be connected easily to the energy grid or pipelines. And that's why we need new technologies like long life and low cost and low weight batteries and hydrogen storage, for trucks, planes, to reduce the overall greenhouse gas emission of the energy sector. At this year's Hannover Fair, it was an initiative of BMW that is called New Energy for Mobility, where we showcase, together with 18 partners, new technologies and new business model opportunities to provide low-carbon energy to our customers. You are invited to visit the booth of all our partners, and you can follow the path of the New Energy for Mobility by an app as well. But what is the role of BMW and the answer of BMW in this game? A couple of weeks ago, our member of the board, Mr. Fröhlich, explained that already in 2025, approximately one quarter of our fleet of our cars will be electrified by battery electric vehicles, plug-in electric vehicles, and fuel cell electric vehicles. For zero emission electric driving, we stick to both technologies, batteries and fuel cells. It's not one or the other, it's one and the other. Since we believe that we have so different cars, we have so different customer profiles, we have different boundary conditions all over the world, there is not only one technology, not only one powertrain technology that fits all the requirements. That's why we always say those are complementary technologies. Battery electric vehicles are very good for small cars, for commuting and planned trips, when you have access to charging at home or at your final destination. And of course, the overall efficiency of the battery electric vehicles are an advantage at itself. Fuel cell electric vehicles are good for big cars, for high performance cars, for long distance driving, and we just need to convert the existing refueling stations to hydrogen refueling stations. One of our partners, Shell, showcases this very nicely at their booth just next to ours. From the energy side, fuel cell electric vehicles have their advantage in the very fast refueling. So in 3 to 5 minutes, you refuel your car like you are used to it with petrol and gasoline combustion engines. And of course, with hydrogen, you can use the surplus renewable energy stored in hydrogen to accelerate the transition to a low carbon society. However, the transition to large-scale zero-emission mobility requires much efforts and cooperation. With more than 3 years of experience with the BMW i3 available to global markets, we now can outline what are the main key success factors for technology breakthrough and for commercial success. First of all, for battery electric vehicles, you need charging access to charging infrastructure at home or at work. We need when the build-up of the volumes increase, we need to an upgrade of the grid in residential areas. We need the fast chargers at highways. That's why BMW is involved in a fast charge initiative as well. And we need control charging. Then we are sure that we can convince the customers of all the benefits over ICE cars and the total cost of ownership advantages compared to ICE cars are there as well. On the fuel cell electric side, we are quite ready from the technology side, and we have proven with our demo and validation fleet that the technology is ready for day-by-day use. But now we need the conversion of a minimum number of fuel stations to hydrogen. We need to build up the hydrogen chain as a green hydrogen chain, and we need to explain and to kind of educate the customers of the advantages over ICE cars and as well the total cost advantages over them. But this might not be enough. There must be additional motivation to go zero emission. I guess Norway is a very good example for it, to motivate customers to go zero emission. And if customers, if the boundary conditions, maybe tax-wise or other advantages and benefits you get when you drive a zero-emission car are available, then the customer will decide based on their individual driving profiles, based on their individual access to charging or refueling infrastructure and the cost of mobility, whether a battery electric vehicle or a fuel cell electric vehicle fits better to their demands. At BMW, we are prepared and will contribute to the energy and mobility transition. In our opinion, electricity and hydrogen will become the main energy source for transportation on the long term. Hydrogen-related technologies can, on one hand, stabilize the grid, store surplus capacities on electricity, and meet customer habits of today and maintaining existing infrastructure and business models. Shell, BP, OMV and all the others, they can remain their business model and business case as of today, from selling fuel to selling choco bars. Energy utilities and industries are encouraged to invest in renewable energies to supply energy for the transportation needs of our customers at a reasonable price. And policymakers have to set the framework that encourages business pioneers and customers to go zero emission. The way forward, yes, there are still a lot of hurdles and challenges, but at BMW we are technology-wise prepared for market introduction, and we would like to launch a regional zero-emission mobility projects that showcase the whole ecosystem of renewable energy and new energy of mobility between customers, vehicles, infrastructure, and renewable energy supply. That's all for now. I thank for your attention. I look forward to your questions and further discussions at the booth, panel discussion, or tomorrow or this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Anne.
Thank you.
Are there any questions from the audience? Okay, then I start. What I really like is that you say you're going to combine like battery, electronic vehicles, and also fuel cells. We had before another presentation. I don't know if you know about Hypos. They had a presentation regarding this where they said that the combination is the best way forward. If you take only fuel cells or only battery, it won't be as good as you have the combination.
Yes.
So I like that.
Yes.
Approach, but I think BMW was also famous that they invested in a hydrogen combustion engine, right?
Yes,
so
yes.
What changed?
That was our first pass on technology pass on hydrogen. Until 2008, this was our main pass on the hydrogen technology. And we stopped at that time and switched to the fuel cell technology, basically because of three reasons. One reason is the efficiency. The efficiency of the combustion engine is much lower than of the fuel cell. And if you have a given space to integrate hydrogen, it means that you, with the same amount of hydrogen available in the car, you have 300 kilometers or 600 kilometers of driving range. So this was one reason. The second reason was that the CARB in California didn't judge it as zero emission, because still there has been some emissions, NOx emissions, very low, but there were. And this third reason was we were the only ones in the customer vehicle side.
It wasn't a USP, no.
Well.
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation. Are there questions now?
But on fuel cell and battery only cars, my understanding was that you go for either battery only or fuel cell only, not for a combination, right?
Well, even in a fuel cell electric vehicle, you have a small battery installed for starting, for boosting, for recuperation. So you always have a small high voltage battery installed in a fuel cell electric vehicle. But you are right. We use the fuel cell as the main power source, not as a range extender. But if you take all our products from the i3 or the Mini up to an X7, for example, there are pure battery electric vehicles. And therefore, especially for the bigger cars, for big driving ranges like X5 or the 5 Series GT you see at our booth, we stick to fuel cell electric vehicles as well. Yeah, but with a small battery installed.
Sorry, can we expect the fuel cell vehicle from BMW in 2020? The mass production, I mean?
Not in mass production. Well, today we have a small demonstration and validation fleet, and around 2020 we will take the next step to market introduction. It's a small very small number, and mass
2020
production
or before 2020?
around 2020,
All right.
and mass production around 2025.
All right. And
Because at that time, for example, in Germany, we expect 400 hydrogen stations to be installed, and that gives a good coverage of for our customers.
okay. And what is the size of the fuel cell for BMW car and the battery as well?
Of course, we would like to meet the expectation of our BMW customers for a powerful drivetrain, and that's why we will for sure have the most powerful fuel
Yeah,
cell.
for sure. I mean, if you use 50 kilowatt or if you use 100, then you still can fulfill the expectation of your customer. It's just I'm asking about the architecture of BMW car. Is it a big fuel cell, a small battery,
Yes.
or medium-sized fuel
No.
cell, medium battery?
No, it's all, if we have fuel cell vehicles, we have a big fuel cell as the main power source,
Okay.
and a small battery for starting, for boosting, and for recuperation. But it's just a 2.5 kilowatt hour battery. So
2.5.
small, approximately. So small battery and a huge fuel cell.
Okay, thank you.
That fits perfectly in the combustion engine space in front of our vehicle.
Great. Thank you very much. There is another question.
Do you have compare in the aspect of safety of the three technologies in case of an accident?
A fuel cell electric vehicle is as safe as a conventional electric vehicle. We installed the hydrogen tank just in the middle, in the safest place you could imagine. Even the passenger isn't as safe as the hydrogen tank. So basically, the hydrogen fuel cell car is as safe as a conventional car. Yeah.
Great. So looking at the time, I think we're done. Thank you very much one more time, Kleczka, for this presentation.
Thank you.
If you have further questions, visit the booth right on the left side, B59, to chat a little bit more about the topic. The next presentation will also be about the same topic, more or less. It will be AVL solutions for fuel cells vehicles, and I'm very much looking forward. We will start in a few minutes. Please stay with us, have a drink, have a coffee, and see you in a few minutes. Thank you very much.